Poke Nerds, welcome in. Today we are looking at the 10 most expensive cards in my personal collection. Wanted to look at this because it's a way to just share what I've got here and talk to y'all about my goals in the hobby and the fact that everyone should have goals in the hobby. We talk about it quite a bit here, but if you're a Pokemon collector, really a collector of anything, you should have something that keeps you grounded, something that you're working towards, right? I don't think that everybody, unless you have an unlimited budget and unlimited storage space, should be out there just trying to buy every single thing they can get their hands on. I think it's cool to have something you value in the hobby. Maybe that's specific Pokemon. Maybe that's a specific set. Maybe it's a combination of these different things. So we're going to dive into it today, look at my top 10 most valuable cards in my collection. Wanted to just kind of take a peek at what I have right now. And I've had cards that certainly would be in the top 10 that I no longer have because they weren't part of my personal Pokemon goals, cards that I felt like I needed. I recently pulled the Pikachu from Surging Sparks. I've traded that in, right? I've traded in a Pokemon Center Snorlax from the 151 ETB for something that I would rather have, right? So that's kind of the things I'm talking about. Yeah, it'd be cool to have the Snorlax, but did I want that more than some of the other things I've been able to get by trading it in? By trading it? No, absolutely not. So without further ado, enough yammering. The 10th most expensive card in my personal collection is this Rayquaza VMAX. And you'll see later there's another card that's a little bit more expensive in the collection that is connected to this one. I love Rayquaza. I also love Zenith, who is a lore keeper from the Draconid line. This is a trainer gallery card. I think it's just absolutely epic. Personally, the Rayquaza from Evolving Skies, the VMAX, it's like $700, whatever it is. I like it. I'm not going to drop $700 on it. I'm certainly not opening any Evolving Skies packs right now. And certainly probably would not be hitting on that Rayquaza VMAX even if I did. But there's some Rayquaza cards that are from Sword and Shield and absolutely hit for me, and this Rayquaza VMAX is definitely one of them. Again, Zenith in the foreground there. I think that the color palette is awesome in the background. Very cool card. That's worth about $75 right now. At number 9, we've got a very modern card, and you'll be able to see from my collection here, I value modern. I think that modern cards are some of the best arts. Obviously, you have the alt arts and the special illustration rares and the illustration rares from the last couple eras of cards. Obviously, Sword and Shield with the alt arts, and then the special illustration rare style cards from Scarlet and Violet. But I just love I love Zoroark. I think this is a really cool card, and this card's about $80 right now. It's from Journey Together, and obviously, we got Destined Rivals releasing this week, but Journey Together is still the newest set as of right now. Journey Together came out, and there's mixed opinions on it. I think it's a mid-tier overall Scarlet and Violet set, but a lot of the best Scarlet and Violet sets really have been, when you look at the specialty sets, 151, Prismatic Evolutions, and Paldean Fates. So when you look at just main sets that actually have booster boxes, I think Journey Together is actually up there pretty high, even though it's a smaller set. I think Zoroark EX is one of those really cool cards. You are seeing some prices starting to settle on singles and drop a little bit. So Journey Together, a much more attainable set than Prismatic Evolutions or Surging Sparks. But even Surging Sparks, I was just able to get a booster box of Surging Sparks for under $200 on Walmart. So that was pretty cool. A little market analysis and talk right there too. But I think you're seeing some of the things start to cool as we get into summer. Destined Rivals, obviously hyped beyond belief. We'll continue to talk about that. But getting into my number 8 card here, if you've been following the channel, I love Crown Zenith. I think it's the best set of all time. And Arceus V-Star is about $80 right now. A lot of the Crown Zenith cards and a lot of cards in general, you saw this crazy hype period where cards were just kind of surging in prices, and you've seen them settle down a little bit. Arceus V-Star, to me, one of the more unbelievable cards in Crown Zenith. $80 card. I have the entire Galarian Gallery, which this is part of, and I think that the Arceus V-Star, Origin Form, Palkia, Dialga, Giratina V-Star, they make up the best grouping of gold cards ever in the TCG. Absolutely love it. So, Arceus V-Star comes in at number 8. At number 7, another Journey Together card. I like Journey Together a lot. My favorite card in Journey Together is this Salamence EX. I absolutely love it. Love the color palette, the mountain range in the background. Salamence looking glorious there. And you've seen a lot of Roaring Moon love in Scarlet and Violet. It was cool to see Salamence here getting some love with a special illustration rare style card. This card's just under $100, $90, $95, something like that right now. And yeah, I've recently moved some other cards in order to get some of these. And I actually pulled Arceus V-Star from a Crown Zenith ETB. The other 3 I've shown so far were purchases. Mewtwo V-Star, another Crown Zenith banger, comes in at number 6 on the list, and this is right above $100, $105, something like that right now. This card is so cool for so many reasons. The art's unbelievable. You've got Mewtwo in a fight with Charizard, and I love that you also have the promo in English of Charizard, the opposite end of this fight, with Charizard looking down at Mewtwo in this same fight. Different art style, different artist, but the same scene. And I just think that's one of the coolest things that Pokemon has done in recent years with some of these connected arts and how cool they look. This Mewtwo V-Star, as good as it gets. And in Crown Zenith, the Japanese equivalent, the Charizard card is also in the set. In English, it is a promo. But needless to say, this is an unbelievable card. One of my favorite Mewtwo cards, of which there are many great Mewtwo cards, right? And obviously, Destined Rivals got a Mewtwo. Let me know what y'all think about that Mewtwo special illustration rare. I know it's pretty controversial in the comment section below. Up next is another newer card. It's the Milotic EX from Surging Sparks. It's absolutely gorgeous. And again, it's another connected art. And it connects with the Feebas art. Same artist, same scene. And I just think Milotic looks absolutely epic here. One of the harder Pokemon to catch in the games. And it kind of similar to Gyarados. Although Gyarados is just like this terrifying beast. But similar to Gyarados in the fact that you've got Feebas evolving into Milotic, Magikarp evolving into Gyarados. 2 of these very unassuming, silly little fish evolving into some of the coolest Pokemon that you'll ever find. So that one is sitting around $110, I think. And up next is Giratina V-Star from Crown Zenith. You heard me talk about it before. Obviously, for most people, the second coolest Giratina card of the Sword and Shield block, with the Lost Origins Giratina coming up in front of it. But to me, this is every bit as cool. And this card's about $175. I think it's peaked around $200. But again, the 4 gold cards in Crown Zenith, as good as it gets. Absolutely as good as it gets. And I teased the Rayquaza connection earlier. Rayquaza V from Evolving Skies. That also has Xenia here in the art. Very, very cool card. I personally like the art on both of these cards better than the VMAX Evolving Skies. It's like a $700 card. This card is currently $240 to $250, somewhere in that range. And I think it's absolutely worth it. Alt art, Evolving Skies. To me, it doesn't get much better than that. It does get a little better, though. Just a little. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you know Sylveon's my favorite Pokemon. So, needless to say, some of my favorite cards and most expensive cards are Sylveon. Sylveon VMAX from Evolving Skies. This card is so freaking cool. Still don't have Sylveon V from Evolving Skies, but that will be added to the collection very soon. But I do have Sylveon VMAX. This is a $350 card. It's kind of plummeted in value lately, but unbelievably cool. I just love Sylveon's depiction here. VMAX is pretty cool, but you have so many other Pokemon in this scene. You've got Vaporeon, you've got multiple Eevees, you got Marshadow, you got just, it's a beautiful card. And the reason Sylveon's my favorite evolution and my favorite Pokemon is just kind of organically how I was able to catch it. You know, first generation it was out, and then it kind of just as a fairy just dominated for me, and has become a Pokemon I seek out in every game now, and is always one of those team leaders for me. And then finally, Sylveon EX from Prismatic Evolutions. I got this beautiful case as well. I can't remember where it's from, but Sylveon EX. I actually pulled this. I've opened hundreds, probably close to 150 Prismatic Evolutions packs. This is the only special illustration rare I've pulled. I'm not complaining because Sylveon is the chase of the set for me. Obviously, I know most people would probably prefer the Moonbreon, right? Moonbreon 2.0, that Umbreon. But Sylveon is my favorite Pokemon, my favorite evolution. This card's worth a little under 500, 400 something right now. And yeah, never getting rid of this bad boy because it is glorious. I think Prismatic, I've talked about how I think it is, just an insane set with how many great hits there are. You have all the evolutions and stuff. I was talking to somebody today. I think that a lot of the evolutions do have better arts throughout history, especially going back to Sword and Shield, than they do in Prismatic Evolutions. But I think the Sylveon card here and Prismatic and the Umbreon are right up there with the very best. I think that you can look at Espeon and look at that Fusion Strike card and probably like that a lot more. I think Leafeon and Glaceon both have better cards in Sword and Shield. Vaporeon, Jolteon. I think they all pretty much have better cards in Sword and Shield, but I do think the Sylveon and the Umbreon stand up in Prismatic Evolutions. And then in Prismatic, you also just have all those awesome Ancient and Future cards. You've got Ceruledge, you've got freaking Dragapult. So, I mean, Prismatic is an insane set. It is very traumatic for those who have opened it, right? And opened a lot of it for most people. I know some of y'all out there have probably gotten a God pack or a demigod pack. I'm not lucky enough to have one of those, but I am lucky enough to have this Sylveon EX in my collection. The most expensive card in my collection is also one that I actually pulled, which was absolutely awesome. Second most expensive card would have been that Pikachu, but I traded it. And then I also pulled last year, I pulled the Charizard from Paldean Fates special illustration rare. Sold that way too early just because I was looking to move it and get something I wanted for my collection. But looking back, I have a little bit of regrets about that. Certainly sold it. I think around $120. That card's worth way more than that. It's a beautiful art. Probably should have kept that one. But that's the only card I've moved on from that I really kind of wish I still had in the personal collection. But I'm not a Charizard collector. If there's awesome Charizard cards, yes, I like to have them. So it wasn't like that big of a hit for me overall. Still a card I would like to have a little bit. But that is the top 10 most expensive cards in my collection. All of them kind of have a reason for being in my collection. Again, the Sylveon cards, I think that Sylveon's my favorite Pokemon. Rayquaza V and Rayquaza V Max. I love Rayquaza, love Zinnia, love the connection there. Love the Milotic card with the Feebas connected art. And then we've got several of the top cards from Crown Zenith and Salamence and Zoroark from Journey Together. A set that I think is being definitely underrated right now. It's a smaller set, but I think it's an absolute banger of a set as well with the special illustration rares and illustration rares that are in it. Let me know, what are y'all's most expensive cards in your personal collection in the comment section below. Let me know which cards you like of mine the best. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.